You can fly planes off ships like I used to do and do it safely. It's dangerous as hell, but it can be done safely. And you can run these businesses profitably, even though having trucks expose you to a level of risk that, selling drinks at a convenience store doesn't expose you to, right? So, hello, my ground force customers and friends. Welcome back to the Taking Care of Business podcast. We're here at the Linehaul Summit, recording in booth 56. It's been an exciting time yesterday after the first day. We're looking forward to another big day at the Linehaul Summit. If you missed the summit this year, please make plans to come again next year. It's a great place to come and learn about Linehaul and network with other fellow TSPs. Today, I'm really excited to have our first conversation on camera with our new partner, Interactive Accountants. We have Matthew Shiebler here, the CEO and founder of Interactive Accountants. They run a fantastic consulting practice on the accounting side. They do Amazon, they do P&D, and they're recently into Linehaul, and they're our partner. So we're going to talk about a lot of things related to what could potentially be thought of as a boring subject, the accounting and bookkeeping piece, but it's absolutely critical to your success. Remember, everybody exits. You either exit on purpose or you exit by accident, but everybody exits. And we're going to talk about how you maximize your enterprise value today by doing the little things right all the time. So welcome to Matthew Shiebler.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome to the Taking Care of Business podcast.
I appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about you and about Interactive Accountants.
Absolutely. So I am a certified public accountant, but aside from that, really what my role is today in the world is I'm the CEO of Interactive Accountants. We're a full service accounting firm, so we'll do the bookkeeping, financial statements, tax returns, and my love and joy is tax strategy. So I refer to myself today as a tax strategist.
Okay.
And that's a little different than your typical bean counter. So basically I wake up every morning and it's my job and my joy to find out how we can stick it to Uncle Sam, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Legally, of course, and help our clients to save on taxes.
So essentially, you're more than an accounting firm, you're a business partner.
We are a business partner in the sense that we'll provide you with the information you need to guide your business from the financial perspective, partnering with you guys now on the ground force side to give our clients that fully encompassed dashboard by route, and then help them with preparing their tax returns as well. But my bailiwick is really finding those strategies to implement into their business to help them lower their taxes.
Great. And if you lower your taxes, you're increasing your profit margin.
Well, we usually see an ROI on our tax strategy. So the compliance stuff is great. You have to do it. And to your point that you made earlier, by doing those sort of things early in your business, when you're about to exit, that ROI is going to be greater.
Right.
The tax strategy piece during the operational part is where we can actually say, okay, I'm spending $50,000 today, but that's also going to save me maybe $15,000 or sometimes even more in taxes.
Yeah, it's a great point. And one of the things that I like to talk about often on this podcast is the owners of these businesses are really CEOs of multi-million-dollar operations.
Absolutely.
And this is not really a mom and pop operation if you're doing things the right way. And these companies are big enough to actually have big company planning, and they should be doing that type of strategy. It's very easy in this business to get wrapped up in the tactical demands, but the AO, the CEO, needs to really focus on the strategy part. And I'm looking forward to having that conversation with you here. We have to kind of change our thinking often when you come into this business to understand that your role is not making sure there's a truck and a driver. Your role is to make sure the company is maximum profitability. You know, if you're the CEO of a public company, every quarter you get to stand on the stage and say how you did last month or last quarter and what you're going to do next quarter and what you're going to do next year. Because why? You have shareholders that you have a responsibility to.
Exactly.
Well, in this business, what I encourage people to think about is you also have shareholders. You happen to be the main shareholder, and you owe it to yourself to execute the financial responsibilities at a very high level. One of the things I'd like to talk about is what I learned in my years of running $100 million businesses in the corporate world is you could talk to me about the weather and my ears translate it to dollars. And I encourage folks to adopt that thinking. And it's not about how much you spend, it's how much you get a return on what you spend. You cannot save your way to profitability, but you can invest your way to profitability, and it's a combination of a lot of things. You don't do one thing, you do a lot of things. And at Interactive Accountants, you guys do a lot of things. It's more than just bookkeeping, it's more than just 941s and paying quarterly
1120s,
taxes.
whatever it may be. Yeah.
So let's run through your portfolio of offerings and help folks understand the advantage of also being a My Ground Force customer associated with all the things that that you guys offer. So let's run through it. You got quite a set of offerings here.
Sure. So what I've tried to do as an entrepreneur is productize my service offerings. Because sometimes the typical accountant will just be like, all right, you need this, 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 and this, and oh, maybe you need this or you need that. We've tried to take that and say, okay, we have a bronze offering, a silver offering, and a gold offering. And we'll kind of plug the entrepreneur from a P&D, a Linehaul business, or an Amazon into one of those buckets. And we'll say, okay, look, you can have your quarterly reporting, you could have your monthly reporting, you could have your monthly reporting plus strategy. From the conversation that I'm having with you, it sounds like you're here. And we'll steer them into one of those buckets, for lack of a better word, just because sometimes they just don't know. So inside of that bucket, we're going to do bookkeeping, of course. We're going to reconcile bank accounts. We're going to issue financial statements. And we use a lot of technology to do that piece. But then we layer it with a human element. So every one of our clients has a person that's an accounting manager and a person that's a tax preparer. And they have those two people to coordinate with to fulfill all those compliance needs. Then if they're looking to take things to the next level, they can jump into strategy. And strategy doesn't have to be just tax, right? We could be talking about someone that's wanting to exit. Okay, what do I need to do, Matt, to begin this exit process? And we'll lay out a game plan for them inside of that strategy and hopefully help them to exit successfully.
Right.
So that's a little bit about what we do at the firm. Myself personally, I've been doing this for 30 years. And I still love what I do, Tim.
Yeah.
I still love what I do. I wake up every day and, we come to these events and we try to share this knowledge with the people that are attending here and, continue to grow our business as well, right?
So we advance the cause. The Linehaul Summit that I'm a co-founder of is all about educating these business owners on things that they may not know because they haven't been exposed to it. And look, you have to do everything in one of these companies that you do in a public company. You need to do all the same things. It's maybe on a smaller scale.
The only thing that's different is there's no 10K or 10Q going to the SEC, right? And there's no earnings calls with shareholders.
Right.
But other than that, it's the same kit and caboodle that Walmart or Amazon or FedEx has to file.
Right, and the compliance piece is table stakes, and what I have seen, I'd love to hear what you think about this, is oftentimes we undervalue in these businesses the need to execute that boilerplate information, those table stakes items, at a very high level. So we kind of let mama keep the books and do these kinds of things. So talk to us a little bit about that and how we can either help mama do a more effective job or maybe have an alternative on how we might execute that at a higher level and get the ROI on the money it costs to actually buy that kind of capability.
Sure. I like to put things in an analogy perspective, right? So I had a pain in my knee a couple of months ago, right? I didn't go to a general practitioner to deal with my knee. I went to a specialist, and that specialist is now helping me.
Yeah.
My general practitioner if he or she was smart, they would have said, go see a specialist,
Exactly.
right? So when I'm inside of a certain industry, whether it be logistics, law, you name it, me personally, I want to work with a specialist, somebody that understands my industry. And for us at Interactive Accountants, that's what we've done. We only play in 4 sandboxes: logistics, law, healthcare, and since all these guys and gals make lots of money, we deal in real estate.
Right.
But that's what we've done, just like you've done at my ground force. You're only working with FedEx contractors. Makes sense. I'm a specialist. So by being a specialist, you can help build out a P&L that's going to make sense for their industry. I've seen P&Ls come to us from other accountants that, are clean, but there's no cost of goods sold section.
Yeah.
Everything is just sales and expenses. Well, how am I supposed to manage my margins?
Right.
How am I supposed to monitor that? So
Do you even know you should be monitoring it? It's one of the keys, right?
right,
Which is the
like
dashboard concept that we have to kind of help you do those.
exactly, like your dashboard completely blows things apart. Our dashboard kind of takes that information and squishes it down so that it's on the overall company level. But with something like my ground force, you're blowing that up and giving the user key data into every single route they're running. And that's just amazing, which is why we wanted to partner with you guys.
Right. And we're excited about that. We have a number of different types of partners. One of the things you find when you get in this business is you have a need for folks, the specialists that you talked about, to do a number of things, but you have so many options out there. How do you pick the right option? How do you pick the best accounting business partner?
Sure.
Rather than somebody that's just executing the fundamentals. And so we look around, we do that assessment. We assess the best option for our customers. Who knows how to deal with our customers? These folks have bet on themselves, and they've pushed all the chips to the middle of the table.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all up to them to execute it. And it's an overwhelming amount of things that you really need to be good at. And in a Fortune 500 company, you got peeps for that. You got a guy that does this, a guy that does this, a guy that does that. Well, here you have to assemble a team of partners. Now, my ground force does a lot of things on the data side, and then we bring partners to the table that know what to do with that data. And you offer some services that I wish I had access to when I was a contractor. For instance, your coaching services on essentially a fractional CFO type approach. So let's talk through a couple of those offerings that you have.
Sure. So when we're working with clients on the fractional CFO or CTO, as we call it, not Chief Technology Officer, but Chief Tax Officer.
Chief Tax Officer, right.
That's generally my clients are working with me in that program. So we're taking data, whether it be from the My Ground Force dashboard or our own P&L, depending on what they have, and we're going to say, okay, here's what we're seeing. Margins are not where they need to be, if that's a determination we have. Or, hey, the margins are awesome, but what's happening down here in the SG&A? This just doesn't make any sense, right? And we have expectations now for bottom line profit, whether it's P&D or Linehaul, because they're different.
Yeah.
And if they're not meeting those expectations, if they're inside of one of those virtual CFO, fractional Chief Tax Officer, whatever it may be, we're going to communicate that to them. And hopefully, a light bulb goes off.
Right.
And we can provide them with some key performance indicators as well. And usually we're going to track things like fleet repairs, your driver costs, and maybe your insurance costs, because those are usually the largest controllables. And we'll tell them, hey, look, you did good this month or you did bad this month. And we'll try to put that on like a one-page PDF form.
Oh, wow.
So that it's visual, because I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit of a visual guy myself.
Right.
So for me, seeing it in that, red, yellow, green, it just keeps things simple for these people. Because let's face it, a lot of us are coming into this industry never having run a company before.
Right.
So I like the KISS mentality, keep it simple, stupid. And when I can present that to a business owner, it just kind of clicks. We're putting things in layman's terms so that everyone can understand it, including myself, right? And then communicating that to them and then giving them at least some information that's hopefully actionable.
Right.
And that's a little bit more about like our virtual CFO or our virtual CTO programs.
Yeah, that is so important that folks understand the need. When you think about exiting in this business, in any business, a basic fundamental principle of valuation is inversely proportional to risk. And in almost every case, risk is a function of information. What is the clarity associated with this business? You can fly planes off ships like I used to do and do it safely. It's dangerous as hell, but it can be done safely. And you can run these businesses profitably, even though having trucks expose you to a level of risk that, selling drinks at a convenience store doesn't expose you to, right? So, but you can manage those risks effectively and use clarity to have a better understanding in your business. And at the end of the day, the exit is all about dollars. So whatever the risk is in your business gets translated into a number. And so what I like about what you're able to do for our customers is to bring that clarity and help them chart a course to maximize their exit. You can make money on a normal basis in these companies, but your biggest return on your initial investment is when you exit. And we all talk about fixing up the house that we bought so we can sell it at a higher price.
Sure.
And you should see your opportunities in these companies to do that. And what my ground force does is free up the owners instead of spending 60 hours churning and burning on spreadsheets and all these other things that go into that. Let the tools that we've developed handle that for you so that you can then effectively make decisions on how to improve your ROI. Every single day you should wake up trying to be a little more profitable than you were yesterday. And this is what your strategies do, right? So if you think about it, if a customer comes to you and they're really running at about, a 10 or 12% profit margin on their exit, if you can help them improve that by 5%, really every dollar of that improved profit is now worth $4. And that's a huge difference. Or more, right? So you've been doing this a long time. It's one of the reasons that we wanted to partner with you, because you have logistics experience in the same foxhole that these guys are in. So I know nothing is average about, you can't directly compare all these businesses, but maybe give us a little story about how you can take someone when they become your customer and help them improve what amounts to their exit valuation.
Sure. So let's start with a customer that's never run a business before, okay? Their concerns are generally survival, right? But once they get past a little bit of that fear, then we can say, hey, okay, how you feeling?
Right.
I'm actually feeling pretty good right now, Matt. The business is taking off. I'm paying my bills. There's a little bit of money in the bank now. Okay, that's great. Let's start putting some things in place to make you successful. So one of the things that we do with all of our clients is we try to set them up with what's called a strategic reserve. And we communicate that.
Right.
And we say, hey, look, we know FedEx pays you guys, every week or every other week, depending on your model, right? But what happens if the poop hits the fan?
Yes.
You're going to need to have a certain amount of money in the bank to kind of ride you through this, as I call it, turbulence.
Right.
So we'll help them create a strategic reserve. And that might mean you don't get to pull out a little bit of money for a little bit. But you have to understand that the strategic reserve is there to save your butt.
It's a risk management tool.
It's a risk management.
You know, it's a great point that you make. When I was running my business, I built to the point that I had enough strategic reserve. I could pay all my bills for 6 months with no revenue. Now,
That's a large strategic reserve.
I know that's extremely conservative, but man, does it give you the ability to sleep at night.
Without a doubt.
From a financial standpoint.
Without a doubt. Our strategic reserves aren't that big. Generally, we're telling clients, look, maybe in this, at least in this industry, you're going to want to have a month or two of payroll, and maybe a month or two of your lease payments.
Right.
Because after that third month, if there's still no money coming in, more likely than not, you're going out of business.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, 90% of small businesses fail. And most of the time they fail for fundamental table stakes reasons. They don't
Lack of planning.
They don't execute the fundamentals. It's not about not having trucks or not having drivers. It's not effectively understanding what's going on in your company, where the dollars are going, and are you getting a return on every dollar that's going out the door.
Yeah.
And
there's other simple things too, like at least in my side of the coin, we're telling clients, look, once you've developed your strategic reserve, right? Every dollar after that, if you want to take it, it's yours. But do me a favor and set aside 40 cents in a savings account for your quarterly estimates.
Right.
So then at least they know, okay, in a simple term, every dollar I'm taking out of my business, after I've hit my strategic reserve, I could spend at least 60 cents of that doing whatever goofball thing I want, or perhaps making some strategic investments in the real estate or even other businesses, or purchasing more routes.
You're setting me right up. My next conversation here at the summit is where capital works outside of FedEx. And this is the kind of thing that you can empower with your knowledge of other opportunities in the business world. You know, we could talk all day about these things because, man, I love talking about dollars. It's my favorite thing to do. So we're going to wrap this thing up. Matt, kind of talk to our customers or our viewers on, you know, what's available at Interactive Accountants and what it would take to, you know, get going with your services.
Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate that opportunity. So at Interactive Accountants, you can find us at www.interactiveaccountants.com, or you can call us at 305-517-3977. Or you can email me personally, matt@ia.tax. It's a short email.
Nice.
Right? And once a client connects with us through our website or through email, then we can begin to guide them into one of those packages that I was telling you about.
Right.
And then once they're there, we can set them up with our operations team to begin onboarding. We work in all 50 states. So we're a virtual firm nationwide. We have the team in place to address all those state and local tax issues. And then we'll assign them their accounting manager, their tax team member, and then it's rock and roll. You know, we're gonna get into it and hopefully give you the guidance, direction that you need as a business owner.
You know, you don't win the Super Bowl with one player.
No, sir.
And
it's a team.
You gotta have a bunch of folks on your team. And I'm really excited that Interactive Accountants is on our team.
Likewise, we're happy to partner with my ground force.
We're excited about what the future holds for our customers.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here today, Matt. And thanks to all our viewers on the Taking Care of Business podcast. We'll be back real soon with another episode. Until then, be safe.
Thanks, Tim. Take care, everyone.